Yoshi the Drunkard overall, as he stands in the game right now, kinda trash. This is going to be kind of a review. I'm not even going to showcase him at this point. As you can see here, the reviews, they kind of reflect that he's a little bit, a little bit garbage. I'm not sure why people are rating him so highly for Faction Wars, considering we don't even have Faction Wars out yet.
Oh, you poor little naive fool. How times have changed. What is up, guys? I'm going to be talking to you today about a champion that might have the potential to really shift the meta, and I think needs to be talked about a little bit more. There's been a lot of discussion recently about the supersonic set and its effects in the arena specifically. Basically, this is the set bonuses here. On Yoshi the Drunkard, we are going to be rocking with a 5-piece set bonus today. So this is in total going to give us 20% extra speed, some resistance, some HP, but more importantly, it's going to fill this champion's turn meter by 2% per each buff on each enemy. Now, the way... Ooh, I am very dark. Let me fix that. There we go. The way that's worded, it sounds like it's just going to increase the turn meter fill rate or those sorts of things, possibly help him get around to his turns a little bit quicker. But what it actually does instead, according to some of the people who have broke it down at least, is it's going to fill them, it's going to fill his turn meter essentially by 2% each time the enemy receives a buff. Why is that important? Well, if we come over here to his skills, he already has a passive where he fills his own turn meter by 4% each time an enemy receives a buff. And that combined with his A3 is going to place an increased attack buff and a 50% increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also has a 75% chance of placing a True Fear. This goes to a 100% chance instead on enemies under increased attack buffs. Now, that being said, he also has a stun on the A1 at a 40% land rate and an attack 2 times at random with a HP burn and a decreased accuracy. When I first put out my review all those years ago, this was like the 3rd ever legendary introduced into the Shadowkin faction. Times were definitely different. He definitely wasn't a very good champion at that time, and I will stand by that. However, he has definitely grown and morphed a little bit into the current meta here. How much silver do I have? I was going to say I'll try and upgrade this, but no, that's most certainly not going to be possible. So what I'm about to show you guys is absolutely insane. Why? This guy's build is at 294 speed with 172 accuracy. Let's compare that to my Arbiter, who's currently rocking at 369 nice speed, right? So a full like 70 some speed faster than my Yoshi the Drunkard. Let's go ahead and let's hop into the arena and show you how this actually works in practice. So let's go against this team just as an example. Let's bring in Sun Wukong instead. So we're using the Aura, so he's going to gain about 30 speed. She's going to gain about 30 speed, but that's still going to put my Arbiter at least, at minimum, 70 speed ahead of my Yoshi the Drunkard. Let's see what happens when we actually get into the battle. Wait for it to load, wait for it to load. Here we go, it's coming. Hold on, here it is. 2 times speed. Boom, they buff up. Yoshi the Drunkard gets a turn meter boost. I'm going to go ahead and exit out and see if I can show you guys that again in a little bit more real speed. So we come in here into the battle against this team. Of course, they have a shield and they have a bolster set on afterwards. So we're going to go ahead and buff up here. We get the True Fears landed out there as well. Of course, the only thing we really have to worry about here is the Mithrala possibly cleansing. We're going to go ahead and hit down their Nishak though. This guy is actually pretty decent these days though, for sure, because of course not only is he bringing the increased attack, so you can use him as a buffer for your team, but he's actually bringing the increased accuracy as well. So now if Sun Wukong goes on his A3, he's going to have a far better chance of actually being able to debuff the enemy team as well. So we're going to go ahead and place some debuffs there. Get a counterattack coming in from Ava. We'll go ahead and buff up. I don't think Mithrala's passive can activate when she's dead, but we will have to see, I suppose. And there we go. We just nuked down that entire team. So this might not seem very groundbreaking, but when you combine this strategy against other teams, so for example, if we were to run Yoshi or even somebody like a Armand's against, let's say, a Sifi or something like that in the arena. I don't think we'll win this fight, but let's just see if we can cut in. Anybody who's placing a lot of buffs, you can get yourself a lot of turn meter boost. Like, look how many times. He just got 8 times turn meter boost right there. We do unfortunately get cut in on, of course. We can go ahead and do this, though. Everybody is under the increased attack, so the Armands resists it, though, even though we have the increased accuracy. And we're about to get bombed out, but Ava comes in with the clutch counterattack. Let's see. No, we're not going to win, though. This is definitely a set that I think is it's good for the game because it allows you to take a regularly go second team and put it more into a role where you can actually try to cut in and get something done with it. So let's go ahead and try this team as well. It's really specialized for, you know, going against Arbiter or Sifi teams or something like that. Like I say though, if you're a more free-to-play player or a low-spend player, what you could easily do is just go ahead and essentially put all of your champions into Stone Skin, combined with, of course, the Supersonic set, because that's going to allow you to just go ahead and cut in on some of those faster teams, and that is definitely a strategy that we're seeing a little bit more higher up in the arena. So we got the sleeps placed here. We might not win this, actually. Just kidding, we will. So you can kind of see how he's useful there, placing that increased accuracy. Let's go ahead and refresh again, see if we can hit some Arbiter teams. Now, I bet we'll be able to go ahead and cut in here because Necrot's going to place his buffs off the start, so that should be a little bit turn meter fill for us. And then additionally, of course, the Arbiter is going to place her buffs as well, unless we're just quicker, which apparently we are. So let's just go ahead and do this, though. We get the True Fear on the Armands there, of course, but he does polymorph us, or somebody polymorphs us at least. He doesn't get True Feared, sadly. But we do counterattack and take him down, which is quite nice. And then, of course, the Supreme Elhain is going to take us down as well. Don't think we'll win this one once again. I do kind of wish that that team was faster. My Arbiter is fairly quick, which is a blessing and a curse. It's definitely a curse when I'm trying to show off videos like this, that's for sure. Let's go against something like this. This is a classic speed team. I hope they're faster than me. Yep, there it is. So you can see we get that turn meter boost coming in. And we are possibly cutting in. Yes, we are. So I don't know how Arbiter cut in first, even though he was getting all that turn meter increase. Let's go ahead and place the True Fear on everybody, though. There it is. So there, Inithwi got True Feared. Let's go ahead and just nuke down the Arbiter. We don't, but she gets turned into a sheep, so that's okay. We're going to go ahead and block Revive on the Inithwi. We're going to go ahead and boost up here once again. Keep in mind that block Revive came through even through a decreased attack, so this Ava is absolutely insane if you build her out with decent gear and whatnot. My Wukong gets laid down by the Lysandra, which is a little bit humorous. We're going to go ahead and A3 there. Didn't kill anyone, unfortunately. Wukong is about to come back, though, thankfully. Madame Saris is in the fight as well, which is interesting. She brings a little bit of CC herself. Let's see if we can get a turn meter reduction here. We can't. Let's go ahead and do this. Boom. Everybody's dead except the Madame Saris. So keep in mind, we were able to win this fight essentially by using a go second team. Now, you could, well, not really a go second team. We were using an Arbiter, but because of the fact that, you know, we were a bit slower, it was a go second team at the end of it. Now, if you combine this strategy, of course, like I mentioned, with some other champions that might be able to, you know, cut in a little bit more effectively. So again, a very, very, very good example of that would be somebody like Armands. Armands would be absolutely fantastic for this role. I think you can essentially just go ahead and have him cut in on the enemy team, and then just go ahead and basically steal all their turn meter, put some sheeps out there, increase cooldowns of skills, whatever it might be. Let's go ahead. We're going to switch this up a little bit because I bet we can beat this team. So we're going to do kind of my classic Armands counter here, where we are going to bring in Ankora. We are going to bring in Taurus and Marichka. So this is definitely a free-to-play friendly team. If you don't have this team, I don't know what you're doing. That's a joke, by the way, for everyone. It's not a free-to-play friendly team. But essentially what's going to happen here... I forgot to bring in Yoshi. Give me 1 second. I was like, hold on a second. What did I miss there? Let's go ahead and switch out the Arbiter for the Yoshi there. And I don't even have this guy geared very well either. Like, as you can see, he had no accuracy on him, but he is definitely still able to... Okay, we got polymorphed on the Taurus there. That is ridiculous. Who even polymorphed us? I don't know. It was... Okay, it was the Necrit, 5-star polymorph. It's a 5-star, though, so that means he's building that Necrit with accuracy, which is a little bit weird, but it is what it is, I suppose. Although my Taurus doesn't have resistance, so... There it is. We get the turn meter increase. We come and we cut in here. We place the True Fear, but of course he does actually go ahead and hit through that again. However, we take him down with the counter nuke there from the Taurus. We'll heal up. We'll buff up. That is insane. The Cooldowns aren't increased from our Ankara either, which is quite nice. So we'll go ahead and take out the Supreme Elhain there. I do actually have her as well. I'm thinking about building her at some point. As you can see, she does do quite a bit of damage. She's definitely an insane champion on that front. I think the Arbiter should be reviving here soon if she isn't already, so we'll just go ahead and try to A1 and get a little bit of turn meter boost as well as some damage on her. Let's do this, and that's GG. Let's go ahead and show off my Yoshi. So we come in here to Yoshi the Drunkard. Like I said, he's not even built that well. These are his stats. So he's got 294 on the speed. The rest of it is kind of just negligible. It doesn't really matter. In terms of the books, he's got 3 books in every single skill. I managed to do that somehow. And in terms of the masteries, this is what he's rocking right here. Increases the chances of placing a stun or the true fears, of course. So when they're not under an increased attack, he's going to have a little bit better chance of placing that. And then, of course, he is going to have the better chance of placing the stun on the A1 as well. I don't think I would recommend heavily investing in this guy quite yet. I don't think that too many people are going to get use out of this, but I do think that the people who will get use out of this will be, again, the lower spenders, the people who might have been around and gone for that fusion back in the day. We're seeing a lot of picks of Armands in the live arena, so Armands is usually countered by speed, right? So when I pick, I was talking about this in my other video, when somebody else goes against me and picks Armands, what I usually end up doing is running with an Arbiter and then an Eostrid to back that up as well, right? So speed into nuke. However, if you place your, somebody like a Yoshi into the supersonic set, he's going to be able to essentially cut in and place a true fear on everybody because both the Eostrid and the Arbiter place the increased attack. Alternatively, of course, if you wanted, you could actually build your Arbiter into a supersonic set as well, because then you're basically counting on the enemy team. So whether it be a Sifi, another Arbiter, whatever speed champion they have, as long as they go first, you can probably get enough turn meter boost from your Arbiter herself to go ahead and basically just cut in there, place your buffs, and possibly nuke them down as well. So we are definitely still in a very speed-centric meta, regardless of what people want to say about it. I figured drawing a little bit of attention to a champion like this is a good idea because a lot of people might have him. He might be in a lot of people's vaults, and I think this would be one that would be good to pull out, because he is definitely going to help enable something like the bomb team, for example. So if you're trying to get your Quintus fragments, you could use somebody like a Mishak, you could use a Gaius the Gleeful, just build them out in Stone Skin. Yoshi's bringing the increased accuracy, which is huge when you're trying to build out a bomb team, because that means you need 50% less accuracy than you would otherwise, right? So if you're shooting for like 200 accuracy, let's say, you're only going to have to build 100, 125 to actually hit that threshold, which is insane. Probably closer to 150 once the multiplications take effect. But any sort of stats that you can bring down and pump into attack instead is going to help you out a lot in PvP. And of course, this guy does actually have a little bit more usage in regular gameplay now as well, right? So if we use him in Hydra, for example, having that increased attack, increased accuracy is sensational. Placing the burns and the decreased accuracy on the enemy is sensational as well. I do believe that when I did the review on this guy, the Hydra wasn't actually in the game yet, so he definitely didn't have very much use there either. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little spotlight on how ridiculous the supersonic set is, as well as somebody who I think is going to be pretty good at using it. Let me know if you guys would like to see a top 5 list or something like that of champions that I think would benefit in supersonic. That's probably the video that I'm going to do at some point. And let me know if you guys can think of any champions yourselves that would really benefit from a supersonic set or something like that. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.